Space was quiet. Too quiet. Out beyond the edge of Earth's borders, where only black stars and cold shadows lived, was a lonely space station, Outpost Theta 9. It floated above a dying planet, its lights blinking weakly, like a heartbeat slowing. Down. This place was not important, not to most, but to Earth's high command. It was a watchtower. A listening post, a warning system, and tonight it screamed, "Emergency alert! Emergency alert! This is Theta 9!" The voice crackled across all human frequencies. "We are under attack! Unknown ships! They—" The signal cut. Static filled. The speakers of every control room across the solar system. Then silence. No goodbye. No last breath. Just silence. Inside Earth Command, Level 47, Luna Base. Commander Hale stood in front of the holomap. His face was hard, carved from war and years of no sleep. He stared at the red blinking dot where Theta 9 used to be. "It was destroyed in 9 seconds, the AI said coldly. 9 seconds? Hale repeated. "Yes, Commander," replied the AI. "From the first hit to signal termination, 9.01 seconds. Hale turned to his officers. "What kind of weapons could do that?" Silence. One younger officer, Lieutenant Doran, swallowed hard. "Sir, Theta 9 had triple shielding, reinforced hull. Even if the shields dropped, the core shouldn't have gone critical that fast. Unless," another officer whispered. "Unless it was done on purpose," Hale finished. "A message that shouldn't exist." The engineers dug through the fragments of the transmission. Most of the signal was corrupted, but deep inside the static, a voice was hidden. Broken, faint, but real. "They're coming. Too fast. Not ships. They bend." The audio snapped. "No more data. Play that again," Hale ordered. The technician replayed it. "They're coming. Too fast. Not ships. They bend." "What does they bend mean?" someone asked. "Space?" Doran guessed. "Time? Physics? Or reality?" Hale muttered. "Either way, we're blind." He turned to the board behind him. "Get me the 7th Fleet, now." On board the human flagship, Horizon Lance Admiral Saren looked out the large front window of the Horizon Lance, the pride of Earth's space navy. Behind it, 5 other capital ships floated silently, ready. When she received Hale's orders, her face didn't move. But inside, something old woke up. A memory. The last time Earth lost contact with a station like Theta 9, they discovered the Vurak Empire. A species that tore through human colonies before Earth finally responded with fire. Now, this felt worse. Theta 9 wasn't a colony. It was a military post, armed, watched, shielded, gone. "Set course for Sector 9, Admiral Saren ordered. "All ships, prepare for potential combat." "Yes, Admiral," came the chorus. Inside her cabin, she opened a drawer. Inside was a photo, her sister, Commander Rhea Saren, the last officer in charge of Theta 9. "I'll find who did this," Saren whispered, "and I'll end them." 2 days later, arrival at Sector 9, the fleet dropped out of warp space. Weapons hot, eyes open, but there was nothing. No bodies, no floating metal, not even dust. Just black silence. "This can't be right," said Commander Doran. Theta 9 was gone, not damaged, not burned, erased. Admiral Saren frowned. "Scan again, long range and short." "Already did," said the sensor officer. "There's something strange." "Show me." The screen showed an empty patch of space, but not truly empty. There was a faint shimmer, like heat on the road or water under sunlight. But it was space. There should be nothing. "We tried sending a probe," the officer continued. "But it just vanished. No signal, no trace." Saren's hands tightened. "A cloak or a trap?" No one answered. "Commander Hale sends the file back on Luna Base." Commander Hale unlocked a top-secret file. Its name, Project Silence. He had always hoped it would never be needed. The file described an ancient energy signature, something found only once before, 73 years ago, in the wreckage of a lost alien probe that had entered Earth's orbit. It carried no weapons, just data, and a warning in a language decoded only partially. One phrase translated clearly: "First strike, no mercy, no survivors." The probe self-destructed after sending that message, and now Theta 9 was gone. Hale looked at the file's final line: "If they come, strike first, or not at all." He sent the file to Admiral Saren, back in Sector 9. Something watches unseen by human eyes. Something floated in the dark. Its shape wasn't solid. It shifted like smoke, flickering between dimensions. It watched the human fleet. It measured them. It judged. Inside its core, ancient symbols glowed red. Not for communication, for calculation. It was not a ship. Space turned into fire. Without warning, the enemy revealed itself, black, shifting ships like living shadows. They were inside the human formation. Close. Too close. The alien weapons fired. Beams of red and white light that cut through space like knives. One of the human escort cruisers, the Valiant, was hit on its side. It didn't explode. It just melted. The hull vanished. The crew never even had time to scream. Admiral Saren stood calmly on the command bridge of Horizon Lance, her eyes locked on the enemy shapes. "Fire all batteries," she ordered. The silence was over. Humans fight back. The human fleet responded. In seconds, missiles launched, railguns roared, plasma lances shot across the stars. The first wave of alien ships were shredded in a fiery blast, but not all of them. "They're dodging our weapons," the weapons officer shouted. "It's like they see the shots before we fire them." Saren narrowed her eyes. "AI, scan the enemy movement." Analyzing. Anomaly detected. Enemy. Ships are operating with partial temporal displacement. In English. "They are bending time, Admiral." Her blood turned cold. A new kind of war. The humans had trained for decades. They had fought against pirates, rebels, even alien beasts near the Kuiper Rift. But this enemy wasn't like anything they had faced. Their ships didn't just move. They shifted. 1 second they were in front. The next, they were behind. It was like they danced between seconds. But humanity had its own ghosts. "Deploy Phantom Squadron," Saren said. "Authorization Black 13. Commander Doran looked up. "They're still experimental. They're our only shot. Phantom Squadron had no call signs, no official records. They flew ships coated in stealth plating and equipped with ripple wave drives, tech stolen from enemies long ago. The pilots were volunteers, trained to operate with incomplete data, low visibility, and zero AI help. They flew by instinct, not code. And now, they entered the battlefield. 12 dark fighters dropped from the underbelly of Horizon Lance. They didn't light up. They didn't speak. They simply moved into the chaos. One by one, the ghost enemy. Ships started falling. The first Kill Phantom 6, known only as Grave, locked onto a strange flickering shape. He couldn't see it clearly, but he didn't need to. He felt it. He fired. The alien ship exploded, but not with fire. It vanished in a flash of blue mist, like it had never been there. "Confirmed kill," Grave whispered. Across the comms, a low growl answered. "Good. Make them bleed." Boarding the empty wreck, while the fleet battled in space, the Hammerfall, a human battleship, intercepted a dying alien vessel. It was barely holding together, half of it missing. Captain Reese led a boarding team of 10 Marines inside. What they found was nothing. The corridors were dark. The walls were made of shifting, semi-transparent metal. Lights pulsed in strange patterns. There were no bodies, no tech, No sounds, just a single black box floating in midair, humming. "What is it?" one soldier asked. Reese reached out, then the box blinked, and suddenly, they weren't on the ship anymore. Visions from the box, the Marines found themselves standing in a white room. No walls, no floor, no sky, just endless white. Then, one by one, they saw visions. Earth cities burning, moons splitting apart, human fleets running from something they couldn't see, and behind it all, a shadow. Tall, endless, watching. Then, snap. They were back on the ship. The box had vanished. Back on the horizon, Lance Captain Reese's report shook the command crew. "They showed us a warning," Saren said. "Or maybe a future." Commander Doran looked pale. What if this was just their scout group? Saren didn't answer. She turned to the AI. Estimate enemy strength if this was only a forward group. Calculating, based on current. Enemy performance and energy signatures, probable full fleet size exceeds 30,000 ships. Silence fell across the room. Earth's fleet had brought only $600 orders from Earth. High Command, a new message came in from Luna Base. Commander Hales' face appeared on the main screen. "You've seen what we're up against," he said. "We can't run, we can't talk. We only have one advantage, our first strike capability." Saren nodded. "Then we use it." Hale's voice lowered. "Permission to activate protocol, wipe clean." Everyone in the room froze. Protocol. Wipe clean was Earth's final option. It meant total destruction of the area, including human ships, if the enemy could not be contained. Saren closed her eyes. Understood. Battle ends. For now. Phantom Squadron cleared the last enemy ships in Sector 9. The human fleet stood bruised but not broken, and ships lost, 2,100 lives gone. But they had survived. For now. Saren stared at the empty space where Theta 9 once floated. Now it was a grave. Commander Doran asked quietly, "Do you think this is over?" "No," Saren said. This was the knock on the door. She turned to the stars. "They're coming next." Sector 9 was quiet again. After the sudden attack, the enemy ships had disappeared. Just like that. No wreckage, no escape path. It was like they were never there. But Admiral Saren knew better. They were watching. They were waiting, and they would come again. Back on Horizon Lance, Admiral Saren sat in the war room. Screens glowed around her, each showing reports from the battle. Ships destroyed, hundreds missing, thousands dead. Commander Doran stood nearby, arms crossed, face pale. "That wasn't a fleet," he said. "It was a scout party. Testing us." Saren nodded. "They wanted to see how we'd respond." Doran leaned in. "And what if they liked what they saw?" "They won't like what comes next." Saren turned to the weapons officer. "Status on the Titan-class warship?" "Black Hammer is 1. Hour from full power-up." "Good," Saren said. "Because when they return, we hit first." The strange signal in the center of the battlefield, one small drone floated silently. It had survived the battle. Barely. The drone recorded everything, from the first attack to the last explosion. But it had picked up something more. A signal, a strange repeating tone buried deep in the static of the alien fleet. The AI filtered it. A message emerged. 3 words. "We are coming." Luna Base. Commander Hale's office Commander Hale played. The alien message again and again. "We are coming." He looked at the analysts. "Any idea what species this is?" One of the senior xenologists shook her head. "No match. Their tech is like nothing in our database. Language patterns are unstable. Their ships seem grown, not built." "Grown?" "Yes, sir. Like they're alive." Hale's eyes narrowed. "Send a warning to all outer colonies. Total red alert." But, Commander, we don't know if they'll— They will, Hale said. It's not just war, it's invasion. Meanwhile, in the deep black far beyond Sector 9, in a part of the galaxy where no human had traveled, a massive structure floated between dead stars. It wasn't a space station. It was something worse, a hive. Inside it, thousands of ships stirred, black and smooth like insects, silent, sharp, hungry. At the center, a creature opened its eyes. It had no mouth, no ears, just eyes. It had watched Earth for a long time. Now, it had seen enough. It sent the command, unleash the Herald. Arrival. Of the Herald back in human territory, a strange object dropped out of deep space near the Horizon Lance. It wasn't a ship. It looked like a jagged spinning star, dark red, glowing from inside. It pulsed like a heartbeat. Saren watched it on the screen. "What is it?" Doran asked. "No idea. Should we fire?" "No," Saren said. "Not yet." Then the object began to speak, not through sound, through thought. Everyone on the bridge heard the voice, inside their heads. "You are not ready. You are broken machines with fire in your hands. We are not conquerors. We are the clean flame. Burn and become pure." Suddenly, a burst of energy shot out from the object, like a sonar wave. Systems across all ships went dark for 5 seconds, weapons off, shields down. Then the lights returned. Saren stood, shaken, but calm. "That's not a weapon," she said. "That's a warning shot." Emergency meeting on Luna. The top generals and leaders of Earth gathered for a private call. Hale shared what had happened. This Herald turned off our systems across 14 ships. No contact, no damage, just control. The President of Earth. Defense asked, "Can we fight them?" Hale answered simply, "Not yet." Another general growled, "Then what do we do?" Hale replied, "We change the game. We stop waiting." He opened a sealed file. Project Oblivion. Back in Sector 9, the Horizon. Lance received a final message from the Herald. It was short, only 2 lines. "Our truth arrives in 3 cycles. Choose extinction or silence." Then the Herald turned and vanished into the stars. Saren stood in silence. She looked at the battlefield where her sister had died, at the stars that now felt smaller, darker. Then she turned to the fleet. 3 cycles, she said. "That's 3 days." She raised her voice. "Send the call. Earth prepares for total war." The countdown had begun. 3 cycles, 3 Earth days, until the enemy's truth arrived, and no one knew what that meant. Admiral Saren wasn't waiting to find out. She stood on the command bridge of Horizon Lance, her voice cold and clear. "We strike first," she said. Commander Doran blinked. "Admiral, Earth wants us to prepare defense lines." Saren turned slowly to him. "They want to wait and die. I'd rather hit first and live." Operation Shadowlance in the war room. Saren outlined the plan. "Using the enemy's pulse burst, we track their energy trail. It leads to a cluster of dead stars. Coordinates marked as Grid X47. Commander Doran leaned in. "A black zone. No known data. No probes ever returned from there." "Exactly," Saren said. "That's where they're hiding." Saren's finger hovered over the map. "We're sending a deep strike unit, a small fleet, fast, invisible, and armed with our most advanced tech." Commander Doran understood now. "We're not going to look." Saren nodded. "We're going to burn them." Meet the Strike Team 6 ships were chosen. Horizon Lance, flagship, Black Hammer, Titan-class warship, Silent Widow, stealth destroyer, Ghost Talons, Phantom Squadron fighters, Nova Fang, artillery support cruiser, Warden's Reach, carrier, for ground units if needed. Each ship carried the best Earth had, and each captain had one instruction. If the enemy reveals itself, do not hesitate. No warning, no mercy. Entering grid. X-47, the fleet jumped into the black zone. At first, they saw nothing, just dead stars, empty space, and silence. Then, something flickered. "Cloaking signatures," whispered the sensor tech. The blackness shifted like smoke. Huge, circular shapes slowly became visible. They weren't ships. They were hives, floating cities of war, larger than anything human eyes had ever seen. Each one buzzed with life, power, and hatred. No talks, no threats, just fire. Saren didn't wait. "Launch everything," missiles screamed from the Nova Fang. Titan-class beam cannons lit up the black. Ghost talons raced forward like death on wings. The first hive exploded. A chain of internal fire tore it apart from the inside. Then, all hell broke loose. The enemy fights. Back from the other hives, thousands of smaller ships launched. They came fast. No formations, no fear. Like a swarm of angry locusts, but they met Earth's fire. The silent widow vanished from sight, then reappeared. Behind enemy ships, ripping them apart with silent railgun bursts. Phantom Squadron weaved through the chaos, targeting weak points. The Black Hammer opened up its core cannon, firing a beam so hot, space itself seemed to bend. 2 hives went dark. But Earth wasn't winning. Not yet. Surprised from the shadows, in the middle of the battle, something moved inside one of the hives. Not a ship. A creature. Tall, thin, glowing with red light. It stepped onto a black platform and simply stared at the human fleet. Then it raised its hand. Every enemy ship stopped moving. Then, all of them. Warped! 1 second, they were there. The next, they were behind Earth's ships. Earth's rear line was wide open. "Rear attack!" shouted Doran. Saren's gambit, but Saren had been ready. "Turn the Black Hammer!" she ordered. "Power the Godfire protocol." The crew gasped. "That's a suicide shot," the weapons officer said. "I know." The Black Hammer rotated, facing the swarm. Its core began to glow bright white, hotter than any star. Target locked. Fire. The beam exploded outward, burning in all directions. Human and enemy ships both vanished in the blast. The enemy fleet was crippled. So was Earth's. But the mission wasn't over. Touchdown on the Hive aborting team, led by Phantom 1 Grave, landed on the nearest damaged hive. Inside was something horrifying. Bodies, not just alien ones, human ones, thousands, stolen, preserved, stored like tools. "This isn't just war," Grave said. "It's collection." A soft sound echoed through the hive. Clicking, scratching, almost like whispering. Grave turned. The creature from earlier stood at the end of the hall, its eyes locked with his. Then, without speaking, it vanished, pulling. Back Saren ordered full retreat. "Mission complete," she said. "Hives destroyed. But something worse is coming." As the fleet left the black zone, sensors detected a ripple behind them. From the ashes of the destroyed hives, dozens more. Ships began to rise, silent, larger, stronger. They had seen the human strike. Now, they would answer. The human fleet limped away from Grid X-47. They had destroyed 3 alien hives, burned them from the inside out. But victory did not feel like triumph. Admiral Saren stood on the bridge of Horizon Lance, watching the retreating stars. "How many?" "Did we lose?" she asked. Commander Doran's voice was tight. "1/3 of the fleet. Black Hammer is gone. Warden's Reach barely escaped. We're picking up bodies. Frozen in the dark." Saren nodded slowly. "No mercy," she whispered. The message Earth didn't expect as the fleet returned to human space. Earth's high command expected celebration. But what arrived instead was a ghost signal, sent ahead of the fleet. It showed a warning. In space, near Grid X-47, new hives were forming, faster, bigger, and they weren't waiting. They were already on the move. Council of Defense, Luna Base Commander Hale stood before the leaders of Earth's military. "They're building. Faster than we expected," he said. An admiral slammed his fist on the table. "We wiped out 3 hives, and they built 10 more." Gasps echoed across the room. "How?" someone asked. Hale showed new scans. "They grow their ships, their cities, maybe even their soldiers." One scientist whispered, "It's like they feed on war." Hale looked around. "We didn't scare them. We fed them." In the cold between stars, Phantom Squadron had stayed behind. Hidden in a silent zone just outside Grid X-47, Phantom 1 Grave, and his wingmates had one mission: observe, record, escape if possible. But what they saw wasn't war. It was ritual. In the ruins of the destroyed hives, the alien creatures gathered. They didn't mourn. They didn't rebuild. They sacrificed. One by one, they threw their own wounded into the glowing pits of the hive's heart. Then, the heart beat faster. More ships began to grow from black spires. Grave whispered, "They turned pain into power." Back on Horizon Lance, Doran stared at the footage from Phantom Squadron. "This isn't just survival," he said. "It's evolution. Every time we hit them, they get stronger." Admiral Saren nodded grimly. "Then we stop hitting." Doran looked shocked. "We're giving up?" "No," she said. "We stop playing defense. We stop hitting small targets." She turned to the stars. "We go for the source. AI revelation. The ancient file deep in the memory banks of the AI core aboard Horizon. Lance, something unlocked. A match. Not in language, not in shape, but in behavior. Thousands of years ago, an extinct species, the Zorthi, left one message carved into a dead moon. We built machines. They built hunger. We fired light. They swallowed it. We screamed, and they listened. Then they came. We had no word for them. We only had silence. And then, we had nothing. The AI whispered one word. Extinction-class threat. Operation. Scorched Heaven. Admiral Saren sent her message to Earth. We need to burn their supply line. Destroy their growth zones. We strike where their energy feeds. Earth's leaders hesitated. The area was near uncharted territory, near a black hole, called the Maw. No ships ever returned from it. Saren said one line, "If we don't go there, Earth is next." Permission granted. The death run, with only 4 warships and Phantom Squadron left, the humans made the run toward the Maw. They passed wreckage of alien and ancient ships, some 100 miles long, signs of forgotten battles. Signs of civilizations that failed. Commander Doran muttered, "Why do I feel like we're walking through a graveyard?" Because they were, and they were about to join it. Attack in the void. Halfway to the Maw, they were ambushed. Alien ships that had hidden in dead asteroid shells came alive, dozens of them. Saren shouted, "Form up! Circle defense!" The vacuum lit up. Red flashes, silent explosions, flash-frozen debris, no sound, just death. Nova Fang was torn apart in a blink. Saren watched it vanish. "No mercy," she said again. Doran replied, "No hesitation either." Phantom Squadron's last stand. The enemy overwhelmed the rear line. Phantom Squadron, low on fuel, turned back to buy the fleet time. Grave led them straight into the swarm. He didn't speak. He just fired. One after another, until only 3 Phantoms remained. Grave's final words over the comm were, "Make it count, Admiral." Then his ship rammed into the enemy's largest fighter, and the vacuum fell silent once more. Escape to the Maw. With the swarm behind them, the remaining ships reached the Maw. It wasn't just a black hole. It was something else. Something built, twisting. Rings of alien metal circled it like a gateway, and in the center, energy, glowing, alive. Commander Doran whispered. It's their core, isn't it? Saren nodded. Or their mother. The ships aimed their final torpedoes. No speeches, no countdown, just fire. The silence in the command room was heavy. Commander Hale stood alone before the secure console in the war room of the Horizon Lance. Lights were dim. Only the glow of the red-screened terminal lit his face. He held a black data key in his hand, the kind only High Command was allowed to use. One word was printed on it in bold letters. Classified. He pushed the key into the slot. A cold female voice spoke. Authorization. Confirmed. Black file Omega 13. Opened. The screen changed. A video started playing. The footage showed a peaceful human colony world. Green fields, blue skies, smiling faces. Children ran in parks. Farmers worked the land. There were no weapons, no soldiers, just families. Then the sky turned black. Hundreds of strange alien ships shaped like sharp knives cut through the clouds. The aliens from the first strike. The ones they were now destroying. They attacked without warning. Cities turned to ash. People ran, screamed, died. There were no survivors. Commander Hale's jaw clenched as he watched. This was the colony called Aurora 7. He remembered its name from the old reports, but no one ever spoke about it, because it had been erased from the records. Why? Hale muttered. Why keep this hidden from the fleet? The voice of Admiral Thorne, long dead, came from the next part of the file. To those who see this file, know that Earth has not forgotten. We chose silence over war, but if these aliens ever return, we will not show mercy again. Commander Hale closed the file and turned around. Behind him stood Vice Captain Rivera. You opened the black file, Rivera said quietly. So it's true? Hale nodded. They killed civilians and vanished. So, that's why the ghost talons were created, Rivera whispered. Hale's eyes were sharp. They were created for one thing, revenge. Across the Horizon Lance, the mood changed. The officers, now aware of what had been hidden, moved with grim determination. The young pilots in the hangars looked at their warbirds with new fire in their eyes. No more hesitation, no more diplomacy, only victory. Far out in space, sensors picked up something strange. A single alien vessel was fleeing the area, faster than expected. It looked damaged but alive. Tech Officer Lin called out, Sir, enemy ship detected. They're trying to escape through a wormhole corridor. Hale narrowed his eyes. They must know. They're going to warn others. Rivera asked, Should we send the ghost talons? Hale didn't blink. No, I'm going myself. In the hangar, Commander Hale suited up. He entered his personal warbird, a sleek black ship with red markings. Its name was printed in silver near the cockpit. Retribution. As the engines roared to life, Rivera's voice came through the comms. Commander, why you? Hale replied coldly. Because this isn't just war anymore. It's memory. And I remember Aurora 7. The chase began. Hale's ship shot out of the Horizon Lance like a bullet, chasing the fleeing alien cruiser through dark space. They dodged meteors, slipped through gravity wells. The enemy fired plasma bursts, but Hale flew like a ghost. Closer, closer, then bang! His railgun tore through the alien engine. The ship started to break apart. Hale opened comms. You thought we forgot. You thought Earth would stay silent. The alien tried to reply, but only static came back. He fired the final shot. The enemy ship exploded. Back on the Horizon Lance, the crew watched the display light up. Target eliminated, Rivera whispered to herself. No one survived the first strike. But Earth survived the memory. As the commander's ship returned, the fleet moved again. The war wasn't over, but now every soldier knew why they were fighting, not just for orders, but for the dead. The space around the Horizon Lance was quiet, but tension filled every corner of the warship. Commander Hale had just returned from his deadly mission. The enemy ship was gone, but something wasn't right. Vice Captain Rivera was standing over the holographic map. "There's a signal," she said, voice low. "Faint, deep in the asteroid field beyond Sector 17. Hale stepped forward. "Another ship?" Rivera shook her head. "No, something else. It's a beacon, a distress call, but not meant for us. It's meant for them." Hale frowned. "An alien beacon?" "Yes, sir, and it's old, but active." The command room fell silent. Black File Omega-13 had revealed the truth. The aliens had destroyed the peaceful colony of Aurora 7. That secret had been buried by Earth Command. But now, the truth was out. And this beacon? It could hold more answers, or a trap. They launched a stealth recon team, 4 small, fast ships. No heavy weapons, just sensors and cloaking tech. Captain Mira led the team. She was young but skilled. Everyone trusted her. Her voice crackled through the comms. "We're entering the asteroid field now. Debris everywhere, keeping shields tight." The field was thick. Rocks the size of buildings spun slowly through the dark. Even a light bump could destroy them. "Still tracking the beacon," Mira said. "Signal strength rising, we're close." Then, her voice turned sharp. "I see it. Sending visuals now." The screen on the Horizon Lance flickered. A massive black sphere hovered in the middle of the asteroid field. It wasn't a ship. It wasn't natural. It pulsed with light, blue, red, then black again. "It's not just a beacon," Mira whispered. "It's a memory core, maybe a recorder." Tech Officer Lin gasped. "Sir, this thing is alien tech, but it's scanning us. It knows we're human." Suddenly, the beacon pulsed faster. Flash! A bright light burst across space. The signal grew loud. Lin shouted, "It's transmitting to deep space! It just activated a long-range communication channel!" Hale's eyes went cold. "They're calling for help." Across the galaxy, far beyond human space, in a dead system with no sun, a huge, ancient warship awoke. Its body was cracked, its guns silent. But when the beacon signal reached it, its systems came alive. Alien lights blinked, engines growled. A message appeared on its screen, in their language. "Human fleet has returned. Colony destroyers engaged. Avenger protocol active." Back in the asteroid field, Mira's ship shook. "Commander!" "The beacon. It's charging something. Get out of there," Hale ordered. But it was too late. A blast of energy exploded outward. One of Mira's ships was hit. It disintegrated instantly. The others raced away, dodging flying rocks and debris. Only 2 made it back. Mira's voice was shaky. "Sir, it was a trap. They planned this. That beacon was waiting for us." On the Horizon Lance, Commander Hale made a fast decision. "Find the source of the signal it sent. I want to know where it went and who's coming." Tech teams worked. Fast. After a minute, Lin looked up. "We tracked it. A dead zone. No stars. No planets. But something just powered up there." Hale spoke the words everyone feared. "We woke something ancient." Silence fell. The fleet had been fighting the first wave. But this was different. This was the beginning of something worse. The enemy wasn't just fighting back. They were calling in their god. Far away from Earth space, beyond the mapped stars, something had awakened. The old system had no light. Its sun was long dead. Planets were frozen and broken. For thousands of years, nothing had moved there. But now, in the center of that dark space, a giant shape rose from the shadows. It was not a ship. It was a war god, built by the ancient enemy, a weapon of last resort. Its name echoed through the alien network, Namarok, the End-Bearer. On board the Horizon Lance, the human flagship, Commander Hale stared at the incoming data. The tech officer spoke, voice shaking. "Sir, that system. Something's moving. Massive heat spike. It's powering up." Another officer added. "We sent drones near it. All went silent. No signal, no return." Hale nodded slowly. "It's alive, and it's hunting us now." In the dark system, Nimarok's body finished waking. It was almost the size of Earth's moon. Covered in heavy armor, strange weapons, and energy cores not seen in any known tech, the creature warship was part machine, part something else. It had no crew. It didn't need one. It remembered the humans, the First War, the colonies they burned, the fleet that struck without mercy. Now it would answer, not with ships, but with destruction. Back on the horizon lance, the warning came in. "Sir, it's moving!" "How fast?" Hale asked. "Faster than anything we've seen. It's headed for our border colonies. It'll reach them in less than 72 hours. The map lit up. One line blinked red. Route of Enmarok. It was going straight for Outpost Helix 3. Thousands of civilians lived there, and no warships were close enough to protect it. Hale clenched his fists. This is what they wanted. Their first strike failed. Now they're sending their last monster. Vice Captain Rivera turned. "Should we intercept it?" "We can't. Win in open combat," Hale said. "Not against that, but maybe we don't need to." He turned to the war room screen. "We'll need the entire fleet to prepare. Every stealth ship, every long-range cannon, every nuke." He paused. "And we'll need her." Rivera looked shocked. "You mean Commander Rhea? She's a ghost." "She's alive," Hale said. "And she's the only one who ever saw Enmarok and lived." Cut 2. A hidden moon base, deep in the black. Commander Rhea stood in shadows. Her left arm was metal, her face scarred, eyes cold. She had once commanded the old Valkyrie strike group. She vanished after a failed mission. Rumors said she disobeyed. Earth command to destroy alien tech. Now, as the door opened, she looked up. "You're here because it woke up, didn't it?" she asked. Commander Hale nodded. "It's coming for us," he said. Rhea smiled darkly. "Then it's time we finish what we started." As the human fleet began to move, as planets scrambled to evacuate, as the stars watched in silence, Nimarok left the black system and entered human space, its weapons charged, its eyes burned with old fire. It didn't come to fight, it came to end. Commander Rhea stood at the command console of her old warship, the Valkyrie, long thought destroyed. She placed one hand on the cold metal. The ship hummed back like it remembered her. Commander Hale's face appeared on the main screen. "R.A. You sure you're ready for this?" he asked. Rhea gave a small, tired smile. "I've been ready since the day I saw that thing rise from the ashes." The human fleet was gathering fast. Over 200 warships, 90 stealth vessels, 12 Titan-class dreadnoughts. But it wasn't enough. Not against Enmarok. Every scan confirmed the truth. The alien war machine was unstoppable in direct combat. Its armor was stronger than neutronium. Its shields regenerated instantly. It had no crew, no weak point. Only one thing had ever touched it. Rhea's failed mission 7 years ago. And she had a plan. A gambit. On board the Horizon Lance, Vice Captain. Rivera spoke to Hale. "This plan is madness. She wants to lead a small fleet inside the monster." "She knows the risks," Hale replied, "and she's the only one who's seen its core." "She also disappeared for years," Rivera said. "Can we really trust her?" Hale looked at the screen where Rhea stood in full combat armor. "She's not asking us to trust her. She's leading." The gambit was this. While the main fleet distracted Enmarok from the front, Valkyrie Squadron, a team of 12 elite ships, would approach from the blind side and breach the monster's surface. Once inside, Rhea would guide. Her team, through the inner tunnels, reach the power core and plant a Sun-Piercer warhead, a weapon designed to tear through stars. One shot, One chance. As the fleet moved out, civilians were evacuated from nearby colonies. Families wept. Soldiers prayed. Children asked questions no one could answer. And above them, in orbit, the human fleet lit the sky like a wall of burning steel. Then, stars went dark. Narrated entered the system. It didn't roar. It didn't speak. It just moved, with quiet, terrible purpose. And the battle began. The front line clashed hard. Human ships fired everything, railguns, plasma, nukes, but nothing could slow the monster down. Narrated opened with beams that cut entire warships in half. One Titan ship exploded in seconds. Another lost all power as a black field drained it dry. But the main fleet held. That was their job, to die if they must, so that Rhea could get inside. Through the chaos, the Valkyrie and her strike team slipped through the dark, small, fast, silent. Rhea's voice echoed through the comms. "We're in. Beginning the crawl." Inside. In Narrated, the walls were alive, flesh and metal mixed. Lights blinked like eyes. Strange sounds echoed through the halls. "Stick together," Rhea said. "Follow my lead. If we get lost, we die." One by one, the humans vanished into the belly of the beast. Back outside, Commander Hale watched the feed. The battle was going badly. Too many ships lost. Too many lives gone. He clenched the edge of his console. "Come on, Rhea," he whispered. "Your turn." Inside Narrated, Rhea found the first sign of truth. Ancient writing. Alien symbols. She remembered them. She had studied them years ago. This thing wasn't just a weapon. It was a temple, a prison, and something inside it. Wanted out. As they approached the core, a voice echoed through their comms. Not human, not alive. It said only, "You burned our stars. Now we burn yours." The team froze, but Rhea kept moving, toward the heart, toward the only hope they had left. Chatyo inside of Narrated pulsed like a living heart. Commander Rhea led her team down the last dark corridor. The walls around them moved slightly, breathing. Lights flickered like nerves firing. Behind them, 2 soldiers had already vanished. No screams, no blood, just gone. Still, Rhea pressed on. The warhead on her back, the sun piercer, was humming. Louder now. It knew it was close to the core. Outside, the human fleet was dying. Commander Hale's ship had lost shielding. Half the Titan dreadnoughts had been wiped out. And still, Narrated kept coming. Slow, calm, merciless. "Status on Rhea?" Hale asked. No answer. The feed had gone dark 5 minutes ago. But he didn't pull them back, because if they failed, there would be nothing left to pull back to. Inside Narrated, Rhea found it. The core room. A giant sphere floated in the air. It glowed red and blue like a dying sun. Thick black tendrils ran from it, connecting every part of Narrated's body. The air crackled. Soldier Juno stepped forward. "How do we place the warhead? There's no floor, just energy." Rhea's eyes narrowed. "We don't place it." She pointed upward. "We throw it into the core." As they prepared, the room began to react. From the shadows, figures emerged. Not robots, not aliens, but half-formed beings, echoes, memories in flesh. They spoke in 100 voices. "You burned. Our future. Now we erase yours." The figures attacked. Rhea's squad opened fire. Lasers burned, screams echoed, chaos exploded, and in the center of it all, Rhea ran for the edge, toward the floating core. Back in space, Hale watched as his final ships fell. Only 1 Titan class remained. "We're out of time," Rivera said. "Not yet," Hale replied. "Sir, if she fails..." "She won't," Hale said firmly. "She never has." Inside the beast, Rhea jumped. The blast knocked her forward. She flew toward the core, slammed the sun piercer against it, and hit the activation code. The warhead locked in. The core reacted instantly. The ship screamed, not in metal, but in pain. "All units, retreat!" Hale shouted. But there were no units left, only him and Namarok, turning its full attention toward Earth, until a bright white flash ripped through the beast's center. The sun piercer detonated. Silence. Then, boom! The explosion was not fire. It was light, pure and endless. Marok's body cracked, its shield collapsed, its tendrils burned, it screamed, a sound so deep it shook moons from orbit. And then, it stopped. Its pieces floated in space. Dead. Commander Ria's final message came seconds later. A voice-only signal. "This is Ria. Mission complete. I'm not getting out. But tell them..." She paused. "Tell them the humans didn't miss." Earth celebrated. The stars fell silent, and for the first time in centuries, the galaxy feared no one, except humanity, because they had faced the monster, and they won.